Well, I think I want to say that it has been a wonderful experience because for many years I've been in a public university, and then by divine choice, the Lord brought me to Redeemer'S University. It's a faith-based university, just as I said. So it's a different setting. So, but I want to say that it has been a wonderful experience, leaving public university to private university. So many things, different from what we have in public university. And faith-based university, just as I said, they are more deeper in terms of building the children in terms of, spiritual things and what have you. So it's a sharp difference, unlike a public university where you are free, anything goes. So in terms of teaching, administration, and what have you, I think it has been a rewarding experience.
All right, so it's been great being here.
Exactly.
Congratulations, sir. Thank you so much once again for joining us.
Yes.
Pastor Alakija, Redeemer'S University has been in existence for more than a decade now. Could you tell us, how did it start? What's the history of Redeemer'S University?
Yeah,
it used to be Redeemer'S University of Nigeria?
For nations.
For the nations. Okay, Ron. Okay.
Yes. Some 30-something years ago, the general overseer of this mission, our father-in-law, Pastor Yadebe, was in Ede to hold a crusade. And in the course of the crusade, he had opportunity to pay a courtesy call on the king of Ede at that time. And in the course of that discussion, the king at that time asked him that, well, gold and silver I don't have, but what I have I give unto you. I have land. Please ask for land. So he went back to all the other pastors, and they agreed to ask for a few plots of land. But somehow God ministered to him to ask for so large, maybe about 1,000 hectares of land. So he returned back to the king and told him that, well, what you told us yesterday, we want 1,000 hectares of land. The king shouted and said, you want to take over all our land? We don't even have as much. But that is story today, because that land was eventually given to us. And as at that time, we didn't even have a primary school in this mission. But God ministered to our father in the Lord that is where I'm going to build my university. So that was how this university started. It was a divine arrangement. It was a prophetic arrangement, as it were.
Okay, so it was established in 2005.
And 5, exactly.
So this is 15 years now running. Okay, and you also moved to your permanent site some 7 years ago.
Yes.
Could you tell us, why did you move?
Yeah.
And before then also, how has it been? 15 years in practice and 7 years in Ede, Osun State, where the permanent site is. What has been the significant evidence of success stories about Ron?
Okay, thank you, Lillian. We were in Redeemer'S University because that was the initial arrangement for us to start somewhere home, so that we can get all the comfort, all the support. And we must at this point thank our general overseer, Pastor Yadebe, and our beloved Mommy Fulu Adebe, and the entire leadership of the mission for the support that they have been giving to us. So we started here on the redemption camp. But as time went on, it became difficult for us to expand and also to have proper control on our students. The redemption camp is a camp. There are several routes that come in and go out. The houses, where people stay, offices, banks. So, that is not ideal for an educational institution for us to achieve the best in terms of learning. Now, so because of that, expansion, number 1, having a proper control on our students, number 2, and then number 3, to be able to do what the university set out to do, to teach, to do research and to impact the community. So there was a need for us to move. And don't forget that God had already said that is where he wanted us to be. So these were the reasons why the university eventually moved to Osun State in 2014, as it were.
Okay. You moved in 2014. I think the first time I visited Redeemer'S University in Edo was in 2015, and I discovered that a lot of workings were ongoing. So, and you said earlier too that some of the things you are meant to do is to teach, to impact knowledge, to do research, and also affect the community positively. Now, being in Edo, Osun State, Nigeria, which is known it's an Islamic environment. So do you think that the people of that community have felt the impact of the church? Are there evidences?
Well, let me start by saying that I think when they started here at the camp, I think they started with 473 students.
Okay.
And by its grace today, I think we're running to about 3,000 students. And then I think when they started also, they have just three faculties.
Okay.
By its grace today also, we have 6 faculties and the School of Postgraduate Studies.
Okay.
So you can see that we are expanding right
yes.
now. And when they moved to Ede in 2014, it was hectic. Hectic in the sense that, it's a virgin land, so by the help of Universty and Mother in Israel and the entire mission, at least you get there, thank God said you've been there. If you get there today, you see a different picture of Redeemer'S University in Nigeria. And as it were right now, where we are right now is just, let me call it temporary permanent.
Okay.
Temporary permanent in the sense that where we are right now is just a temporary site. Right now we are building our permanent site very close to where we are now. So if you get there now, you see wonderful buildings, structures, growing up there. So you'll be amazed.
I think I saw a few of some of the pictures. Oh, we have that. Is that what we have on TV right now?
That's the Faculty of Engineering.
Okay.
Yes. So Faculty of Engineering is near completion now. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to do the commissioning today.
Yeah, that's the faculty.
Yes,
this
this
is the faculty.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but the donor said we should need to wait a bit so as to complete the place. So hopefully before the end of the year, sure that we are going to do the commissioning and then we move to that building. Right now, we have another building going on. That is
the Faculty of
Basic Medical
Sciences.
Okay. But that one is being sponsored by our general overseer.
Okay.
Also near completion.
Okay.
And then you have a HG building that is ongoing right now.
Okay.
And I can tell you that HG building will be the best in the whole of Africa, not even in the whole of the world. I'm telling you, because we are expecting CNN and BBC to be there when we are commissioning, hopefully before the end of the year.
Before the end of 2020?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Grace,
Dove Television will be right there too.
Obviously, we'll surely be there.
Yeah.
So we want to say that, and in terms of our relationship with the community, I want to say, just as you already mentioned, that almost maybe 80 to 85% of the people there are Muslim.
Yes.
But I want to tell you that we have a very cordial relationship with our neighbors there.
Okay.
We imparting their lives in terms of scholarships to the indigenes.
Oh, okay.
Right now, if you go there, you see us constructing some roads for them.
Oh, okay.
And the neighboring villages and what have you. So we've been working together, so that has been peaceful coexistence between us and then the community. So I want to say that one way or the other, we are imparting their life. I know that Pastor Okja is coordinating this, what do we call it? Where are you? Waste disposal.
Waste disposal.
For the whole of
this is skilled acquisition.
Yes, we did this one.
Okay.
Recently.
So this is like empowering the indigents of their community.
Yes. Majorly Muslims.
Okay, you also tidy up their streets,
yes,
the roads.
every Wednesday they do go out.
We clear the waste of the surrounding communities. We go out, we use our waste disposal vehicle, we help them collect and we dispose. And in addition to that, we give regular medical outreaches where we educate the people on how to live good life. That's the
that's like the paramount
Timmy of Ede in one of our medical outreaches. So we do that regularly to educate the people how to live well. We give them drugs, and then if there is need to refer them for secondary health intervention, we do that. And then we also do drama, because we use drama to transmit some values about how to live healthy in that community. And beyond that, the issue of scholarship, we have, by the special grace of God, been giving scholarship since we arrived Ede in 2014 to indigenes of Ede. On a yearly basis, we give at least about 4. We have grown it now about 6 students annually.
6 students,
yes,
6 indigents every year get a scholarship from the school.
And interestingly, some of them have started to graduate from the university. There is a particular story that I remember of one of the students who came in as a Muslim. And interestingly, the scholarship was given, and this young lady eventually was baptized. You know, she surrendered her life, she was baptized, and then she became a worker in the university chapel in the technical department. And then she graduated with a very good grade, and I'm sure we should be able to see our testimony.
Oh, you have a testimony here.
Yes,
okay,
we have
Director,
a testimony.
if we can have the testimony of the young lady who graduated and who was a Muslim and was converted, and today she is a Christian, a born again, a worker in the house of God.
Yes,
and today she's a graduate. We have that testimony. We'd like to take that. Well, that's quite good. Okay, we have that playing. Let's listen to this one.
That's
Good day,
Ikmat.
everyone. My name is Olapade Ikmat. I am a graduating student from the Department of Financial Studies. I studied accounting in Redeemer'S University. I'm an indigene of Ede from Aruamo ruling house of Agriamo Shefu compound. I'd like to thank the Redeemed Christian Church of God and Redeemer'S University for granting me scholarship throughout my 4 years program. And also I'd like to thank the team of Ede. Redeemer'S University is very beautiful. We have wonderful environment, we have wonderful staff, we have wonderful and lovely students. We have top-notch facilities. Redeemer'S University is a blessing and is also a place to be. Thanks.
Change the world.
All right, so that was the testimony of the young lady who came into the university as a Muslim, into the University of Redeemer'S University as a Muslim, and she was converted. She's now a Christian, a worker, and she is a graduate. All to God's glory. And that was on the scholarship.
Yes, she got a scholarship for the Ede Indigene, so for our entire study period within the university. So, and she's not the only one. There are several others that are enjoying this scholarship, and that's part of the impact that we are giving to the community. And you know, like the Vice Chancellor said, there are other interventions that the university, does in that environment. For example, I remember during this pandemic period, the university stretched a hand of love to some people within that community. We provided food items and what have you. And from time to time, when there are needs within the community, the university also engaged in terms of employment too. We are not in any way biased. Majority of the people who work around there, who do services, contractors, so they
are
also
not necessarily members of the church.
No. Majority of them are from this other faith, and that is empowering them, giving them job, and ensuring that we believe that when they come in, our lifestyle, what we are doing will transform them and eventually bring them to the Lord Jesus. And this was one activity that we did, looking at so many people who are involved in one thing or the other, but did not have the empowerment to go tailors, hairdressers, barbers, and housewives who could do little things for themselves, grind pepper and make some money and encourage and support their family. So the university, put this together and then empowered several of them. We did that sometimes last year, and it is because of the pandemic that we cannot have a similar event today, of this kind. But next year, by the grace of God, this kind of event will come up again, where we would empower more people from that our community.
All right, well said, sir. Congratulations once again, sir. We're talking about the pandemic. We are gradually getting off from. Now, that reminds me, like I said earlier, congratulations once again. Now, I understand that Redeemer'S University played a vital role in the index case of Ebola in 2014 and also COVID-19. Would you like to tell us what role did you play? What that important role did you play?
Well, thank you very much. Just as I said, I mentioned that we have what we call the Center of Excellence for Genomics of Infectious Disease.
Yes.
It's a center sponsored by the World Bank. We can say that it's the best, the most rated center amongst its colleagues all over Africa. And then 2014, just as you said, we are at the forefront of this Ebola issue. And this year also, the COVID-19. We are the first center, to discover that thing in terms of taking care of containment and so what have you. Just about 2 weeks ago, we received a letter from the WHO, actually taking us to be the center of excellence. So right now in Africa, we have 3 centers.
3 centers in Africa?
In Africa.
Okay.
2 in South Africa and 1 in Nigeria. So that's the only center that is accredited by the WHO to handle that one. And I want to say that The center has helped so many states. At least we're working for Osun State,
Okay.
we're working for your state, we work for Ondo
Ekiti.
State, Ekiti State, and then
Kwara.
State. So we're helping them in terms of testing and what have you. And I want to say that the test that we did for them, free. We didn't charge anything from them.
From the beginning
From
of
the
the pandemic up till this
Up till
present
now,
moment,
we are not charging them
on a
anything.
daily basis.
You see sample coming from all these states. And aside from that, I want to say that because of the fact that we are now being accredited at the Center of Excellence for WHO, samples can come from any country in Africa.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, they are telling us that some samples are coming from our neighboring states now for us to do the testing for them.
From Togo, from
Togo,
Ghana, from Cameroon.
Republic of Benin,
Okay.
and all that.
All right. Now, speaking of that, well, I was told that in 2013, Redeemer's University won a World Bank grant to fund the establishment of African Center of Excellence for Genomics of Infectious Diseases. To win this grant now, Redeemer's University emerged the best-rated university among 15 prestigious universities in Africa, which were selected from Central Africa and West Africa. Well, congratulations to yourself on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's come down now to Redeemer's University as a mission school. What comes to mind is a lot of people believe that being a mission-based school, the earlier missionaries who came to Africa actually came in with schools, with good quality education, and they were all free. But that has changed in recent times. In our time right now, most of the expensive schools, universities or secondary schools or even private, owned by missionaries are quite expensive, even more expensive than the government-owned university. Have you heard of this before? Some people feel that this has not gone down well with some members of churches who believe that it's Redeemer's University doing at this time to change these narratives in the minds of members of the church.
Well, thank you very much, Lillian. I think that's, like you said, it's a very good question. I've heard about it. And let me say something that before I moved to Redeemer's University, in a published university, you see that. But let me say that it is not easy to run a university.
Okay.
It's not easy at all. And until you get there, you won't know the role that the mission is playing, and individuals now are playing to make sure that the university, is run properly. If you set up a university, I can say, by my calculation, it takes about 25 to 30 years before you can think of making profit from such venture. It's highly capital intensive. Highly capital intensive. In terms of recurrent expenditure, paying salary and what have you, that one costs a lot of money. I can tell you, I'm just providing this information for us now.
I agree with you, sir.
It takes, for every month we pay about 70 million in terms of just salary alone, not to talk of other basic infrastructures and what have you. Each of the buildings we are talking about, they are cost about 1.2, 1.5 billion to rent. So when you look at that, and you see, up to today, I can tell you, Lillian, that even the mission is still supporting us every month by a subvention, that runs to millions to be able to run the university. And then we are working to make sure that the issue raised, in terms of using the tithes to establish a university, and then the children of those titles cannot come down. It's a different thing. Let me explain so that we're able to get it straight.
Okay.
We now run scholarship, Redeemer's University. Okay. We have scholarships for wards of
members of the church.
Oh, okay. There are scholarships for members of the church.
And then we have for senior pastors.
Okay.
We have for ministers. We have for
workers
and
members.
The different categories.
Okay.
So I think that takes care of some of the issues.
Okay.
And aside from that, we move out as management. Professor Lecturer will tell us more about this in terms of the number of scholarships we have for our students there. So virtually most of the students that are there, they are either on a scholarship or one thing or the other. So let me say that unlike what happens for the early missionaries when they establish school and what have you, they have sponsors over there. Just as we are talking right now, I mentioned it that for Redeemer's University, I can say it without any doubt because it's not secret, that every month we receive nothing less than 50 million in terms from the mission every month to take care of the university in terms of paying salaries, in terms of maintaining students. So if you calculate, Lillian, the tuition together for the whole year for students, is not enough for us to pay salaries for workers, workers of the Redeemer'S University. That's the truth, But under your idea, you won't know that it's a different ballgame.
All right, but it sounds so nice. I mean, it feels so nice to hear that members of the church can also get some benefits.
Yes.
Okay, as some of their children could be on scholarship for just being members of the church. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, we have that scholarship that the Vice Chancellor just mentioned came up. We started it 2 years ago. Okay. So this is the third year running. Okay. In the first year, we gave over 506 students of the university scholarship. And in this session that is just winding up, we have given more than 1,500 students scholarship.
Members of the church.
Members of the church, running to over 350 million naira. Now, in addition to that, there are other streams of scholarship. For example, as before this RCCJ run scholarship came up, staff members of this university on a monthly basis contribute to support students who have financial challenges. So we call that SSS, Student Support Scheme.
Okay. All right. So before we go into the student support scheme, on what basis, how can somebody fall into that category? I just like to let people know that at this time, we are talking about the Redeemer'S University, one of the prestigious universities in the world, the best in Africa, and I can assure you that definitely you can't miss out when you attend such school. And at this time, I might not be able to answer your questions. So at this time, our phone line is now opened. If you have any question you want to ask the Vice Chancellor of Redeemer'S University, please feel free to call in and ask your question, and they will attend to all of your questions. Is that okay? All right, God bless you as you call in. Now, talking about some of the special benefits, you said that there are some special cases.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so the student support scheme, this takes care of, so sometimes you don't plan, nobody wants to die, but you can see a student may lose one of the sponsors
or parents,
or guardian or whoever. So at this point in time, the student support scheme comes in to support such a student. We have other forms of scholarship. There is the academic scholarship also for outstanding students. And there is also the scholarship for maybe character. You are outstanding in character. You are outstanding in any form of development. For example, you look at a problem in the university and you're able to come up with a solution. There's also scholarship for that. You are good in sports. There's scholarship for that. And beyond this, we have also gone out to also look for other scholarships from eminent personalities in the society, those who have a concern for education. So, for example, we have our father in the Lord, the General Overseer, on a yearly basis. He started with 10, and he's moved it to almost 25, supporting students on a yearly basis, and these don't have to be members of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So we have the Desi Danjuma Scholarship, which supports at least 10 students. We have some of our churches, some of our headquarters. We have Lagos Province 60, the King's Court. They are supporting us scholarship with 2 students. We have City of David. They are giving us 1 student. We have also Lagos Province 19 and Region 19, rather, the Dominion Sanctuary, Acme Family Firstborn. They are supporting at least 5 students every year, both from Nigeria and some of their churches outside. There are also individuals who are also from the UK. We have one Pastor Phillips and his family who are also supporting us. And so these streams of scholarship makes it impossible for any student to leave the school without completing their educational pursuits. So these are some of the other scholarships that we have. There are quite a lot of them. There are some who have told us not to mention their names. There is a particular woman of God who is supporting close to 40 students annually. These are people who are maybe picked from the street and all that. So there are numerous scholarships to support because the economic situation, and we are using this opportunity to talk to parents and other well-meaning Nigerians to support this kind of initiative. Some of our churches have been doing very well, and we are using this opportunity to reach out to our pastors, our missionaries all over the world to support this kind of initiative so that we can have more scholarships,
to give out. So there are scholarships for indigenes of Ede.
Yes.
There are scholarships for members of the church.
Yes.
There are scholarships for non-members for just academic excellence, for your intelligence and all of that. You could get a scholarship.
For entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, you are able to develop something and it is good and meaningful and useful to the university. We support you, give you a scholarship for good behavior, outstanding in character, honesty, integrity. You are diligent and you support any cause of the university. You are rewarded and you are good in sports as well. You get a scholarship. So we are not only supporting academic performance. Those who are also good in other areas of life can also get scholarship.
As a matter of fact, the alumni also.
Yes, the alumni scholarship.
Daddy told us when they were doing the foundation that a time is coming when it will be, let me use his word, it will be criminal for any vice chancellor to ask students to pay school fees. Because a time is coming when the school fees for all the students will be paid by the alumni.
Great.
I think we are working towards that stage now. Every year now, they do give scholarship for number of students. 3 to 5.
And they started that about 3 years ago.
Yes.
So,
and that would definitely increase by day in Jesus' name. All right, talking about good behavior, you said that there are scholarships for good behaviors. Now, Redeemer's University is a mission school, a faith-based school. So I know that most of the lecturers, most of the staffs would be God-fearing, born again, and all of that. But how do you manage the students? As some of them would have come from different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions. Now, during the vacation, they all go back home, mix up with their friends who are either drug addicts, cultists from other schools. How do you manage this school from being polluted when the students return back so they don't pollute the environment? What are your disciplinary measures? What do you do to any student who is found violating any law? Do you expel? What do you do? What are your disciplinary measures, sir?
Well, thank you very much. Well, Redeemer's University is also a unit in the system. Obviously, we should expect that at least in any organization, you have one or two that will behave deviant.
Yeah.
A little bit. So we do have such problems occasionally. Well, like I said, when we are resuming now, we do what we call drug tests for every student.
Okay.
All the tests we do for them, we make sure that, and if you are found wanting, the law takes care of you in terms of either we expel you or we expulsion. But the beauty of that is that your destiny is not destroyed permanently. What we do is that we have what we call recovery of destiny. Being handled by the School of Mission. So the moment you are caught in one thing or the other, we send you straight, to the consent of your parents. If you are consented to the consent, we send them to a recovery of destiny program. And you'll be there, and then you do all the spiritual activities for at least 1-2 semesters.
A semester to deal with whatever challenge that you have.
So after that, then they will write a report to us by the provost of the college. If you have positive results, and then we do the necessary tests, you pass it, then we bring you back to the system. So
I wish to get a clearer understanding.
Okay.
Now, you do not expel the child from the school. You do not drive the child away from the school, but you rather take the child to a correction center, which is the School of Mission, with the consent of the child's parents, of the student's parents, and then there they can retrain the child. Tell us, what are some of the activities, what are the things that happen there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Just like the Vice Chancellor said, we are not different from the society. We will only be pretending if we claim that some of these things don't happen. They happen, but so what they do basically is that the correction center is actually 2. For those who have drug-related issues, they smoke, they drink, we have an agency called Christ Against Drug Abuse Ministry, established by this mission. So we are sure of what they are doing, CADAM. So those who have drug-related issues are sent to CADAM for interaction with specialists. They have clinical psychologists, they have social workers there. And they go through intensive training. They call it replacement therapy. You know, they were on drugs. Drugs will be withdrawn, and Jesus will be given back to them to fill that void in their life. And so they will be brought back to school. And in the other camp, which is the Redeemed College of Missions, so for every problem, for everything that happens physically, there is a spiritual undertone. So there will be a background check to trace where this problem actually came from. And sometimes when the root of the problem is identified, solution is given appropriately. And by the time such students return, there are wonderful testimonies. We have several of them who have graduated from this university whose destiny would have been crumbled. In fact, some of them have been to 2-3 universities before coming to us. The parents are tired. In fact, they have given up. They believe that bringing them to Redeemer's University, Pastor Adeboye will be laying hands on them every day. So, but on coming there,
that's not possible.
Yes, but we are enjoying the prayers and the blessings of our father and our mother all the time. So now, when they come in, because of the way our university is structured, it is impossible for you to come to that university without whatever you have come with being identified. So before you stay for one session, if you're a drug addict, we'll find you out. If you are involved in immoral things, we'll find you out because of the way our system is structured. So when such people are found out, they are taken to School of Mission, and there also they are encouraged, they pray, they fast, there's a therapist, a psychologist, and then, you know, the intervention is total. And like I said, several destinies have been recovered. We have them all over the world with excitement, thanking God for Redeemer's University, thanking God for recovery of destiny. Those who have been to 3-4 universities, who have given up and said it's not possible to graduate, God intervened, their destinies recovered, and we are doing very well.
Are there things that can attract students from other nations of the world, or do you have just students of within Nigeria? What are the things you have in place to attract students from, let's say, Saudi Arabia, who would want to study here in Nigeria? Do you admit them?
Yeah. Right now, during this pandemic, I think we came together, Pastor Lakeja and then the management. We prepared a proposal for our general overseer. Just to take care of the issue you have raised now, bringing in foreign students. And we sent the proposal to our general overseer, which he approved for us. So hopefully, at the beginning of next session, we're expecting nothing less than about 10 to 15 students from so many countries now. From Pakistan,
from Oman, from Rwanda, from Philippines, and from, I think, Libya.
Wow. That is going to be quite transforming, because the countries you just mentioned right now are countries that has nothing to do, nothing or little to do with Christianity. That's
so great. I'm sure that program, you know, will be the first in this country, and we're believing God that with the help of the mission, we're going to make a success of that program.
Are there challenges of the school at the moment? Are there challenges?
Obviously.
Are there challenges?
You know, like I said, you know, we moved to Ede in just 2014.
In
fact, just on, was it on Thursday that we have accreditation exercise for the Faculty of Law. You know, we have few challenges. Hopefully, we're thinking that by the time we meet with the mission and then with our parents and what have you, we will tackle that challenge. Number one, in terms, like I said, we are building our permanent site now. It's a lot of money, you know, to build permanent site. And then we need accreditation. And by the grace of God, all our courses are fully accredited. You know, by then you see. But we are due for re-accreditation in 2022. So we're already preparing for that, because it's a whole lot of money to be able to do that one. So obviously, the major challenge is funding.
Funding. The Lord will take care of that, like we all say in church. The Lord will take care of that and provide our means in Jesus' name. All right, sir. So are there new courses that the school is now offering at the moment that you'd like people to know?
Yes.
Okay, please tell us.
Yes. We just like the Vice Chancellor has said, our movement to Ede has been backed up with expansion. So we just have 2 new faculties, and you just saw the building of the engineering faculty. It's a standard, world-class building. So we are admitting students into engineering from this session. Mechanical engineering, civil engineering, electrical electronics, and computer engineering. So we are using this opportunity to tell our parents, you've heard the success story of Redeemer's University, not because we are good ordinarily, but because we have the covenant backing us. So you can be sure that if you send your children for these engineering programs, I mean, they'll fly. And then we also have environmental sciences. So where we have courses like architecture, surveying and geoinformatics, building technology. So all these courses are starting in October 2026. So we are using this opportunity to tell those who are ready to go to the university, who want to enjoy the scholarship provided by the mission, and who are ready to fly great. They should come over to Redeemer's University.
Certainly, they will come over. Okay, so now we couldn't take your calls, but don't worry, please call any of the numbers that was displayed earlier to make inquiries on how you can get into the university, Redeemer's University. And today I've been speaking with the Vice Chancellor of this great prestigious university, Redeemer's University, talking about Professor Anthony Ennison. He is a professor of monetary and development economics. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Also today in the studio, I've been speaking with Pastor Oluseyi Alakija. He is Assistant Director, Strategic Communication and Development. Thank you so much, sir, once again for giving us the time. So this is just the much we can take on this time on television, talking about the Redeemer's University. You can find out more as you visit their website and also call the numbers that was displayed earlier on your TV screen. My name is Lillian Ogedegbe, and the Youth Convention of RCCG starts just after now. God bless you as you stay with us. Bye now.